Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my predictions video after seeing the Walking Dead Season 6 trailer. Okay, so I want to apologize right off the bat to you guys because I intended to get this video up pretty much right away after Comic-Con, after seeing the trailer and everything. But, I was doing the breakdown. That took like 2 or 3 hours to put together. I was doing some other stuff. And there was just so many trailers. I was like, oh man, I got to get to these trailers and stuff, review these, and then I'll do the predictions afterwards. So here it is for you guys. This one, this took quite a bit of thought. I had to go through and, watch the trailer a few times, take a lot of screen caps and compare things and try to come up with some good ideas for what I think we're going to see and some logic. So this one is difficult to kind of predict because, like with Season 5, there were certain things we knew, like we knew Rick and the group were going to get away from the, Terminus and Gareth and the Hunters and all that, obviously. In this one, kind of we know too, the Wolves have been introduced in the back half of Season 5, and now going into Season 6, we're going to see the Wolves return. Now, they're not a huge concentration in the trailer, but you can see a few randomly here and there, that they're definitely there. We know the premiere is going to be 90 minutes, and also from filming when people, were kind of taking some pictures around set and stuff, fan pictures, it seems that the premiere will probably feature the attack of the wolves. Now, we also see in the premiere that, there's the No Way Out storyline from the Walking Dead comic book series, which is basically a shit ton of zombies that just come flooding in and, kind of smash down the gates of Alexandria, find a way in eventually, and everybody has to kind of hide in their houses, and it's really exciting. We see part of that in the trailer as well, too. Now, the big question for me after seeing the trailer is, which are we going to see first? The premiere is 90 minutes, so it's going to be big. Are we going to see the Wolves, or are we going to see No Way Out? For me, based on the comic book series originally, the Wolves attack first, right? In filming, it looked like the Wolves were there first before the herd came through. So even though in the trailer it looks like a big concentration is the herd coming in, I think a lot of the reason why they used that was just because it looks so, amazing for a trailer, right? And the stuff with the Wolves maybe aesthetically won't look that amazing when you're just watching a trailer with some nice sound voiceovers and that. By the way, I love the trailer theme for this one. I'll put the link in the description to the theme song for it. It's really good. I'll give my thoughts on that later in another maybe Q&A video this week probably. It's a really good theme song for a trailer. I really like it a lot. So I'm assuming what I'm saying with this one is that I believe we're going to see the Wolves attack first, even though from the trailer it looks like we're going to see No Way Out occur first. I think we might see the start of that, and they may kind of merge the two or combine them, like have the Wolves attack, have a section of the Wolves back, then have No Way Out, then have the Wolves come in again, or like the remainder of them or something. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Usually the trailers include like the first, like last year it was about the first, to be honest, it was only 3, was it 3 episodes? Or was it like, yeah, I think about 3 or 4. Because in 4 with, like 3 or 4, and then we got into some other stuff. And then, of course, the mid-season break. So the trailer for this year, I would say as a prediction, I think it'll probably include like the first, we're probably looking at the first 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 episodes, something like that. I don't know if the Wolves will take up the entire part of the first season. It seems to me like the part at the end that they put with Daryl, that's probably a new group. And there's something too that people have been asking, who do you think this is? The guy who's got the gun on Daryl with the 2 girls, I think it's 2. And we don't know who he is. He's obviously some kind of new survivor or something. Could he be a part of, Negan's group, like an earlier version of Dwight or something like that? Well, he could be, but I would probably put my money on him just being like a totally new group of survivors that they've added into the season, because they do need to kind of add in some stuff. Since it is 16 episodes, they can't just go right through the comics all the way through. They'd go through too much storyline. So I'm going to predict that I believe he's like a new character, part of a new group. I don't think he's with the Wolves, though, but I think he'll probably occur afterwards, so that'll probably be later on, maybe a few episodes in, like 3, 4 episodes in, something like that. Although, again, all this is just speculation. I could be totally wrong about all this. Who knows, right? Because all we have is basically a trailer to go by and hardly anything else. So thinking Wolves are going to attack first, then we'll see the start of No Way Out, then the stuff with Daryl at the end afterwards. In terms of, okay, so let's look at some specifics from the trailer. So at 37 seconds, we see Enid, who returns, and she's got, or comes to the Alexandria safe zone. She's got a lot of tattered clothing, stuff like that, blood, or she's just nasty, she's got, all kinds of crap on her, stuff like that, from being out there in the zombie apocalypse. So a lot of people in the comments were saying, Trev, that's probably a flashback, and I think that makes a lot of sense, that it would be a flashback, right, of her when she first got there, when she first got to the Alexandria safe zone. Because Scott Gimple did say, who's the showrunner at SDCC, that we're going to be seeing some flashbacks, we're going to be seeing some stuff like that. And it sounded to me like we're going to see a flashback of Morgan as well. It looks like it. So some flashbacks there, starting with the Enid one. At 1 minute and 7 seconds, we have Rick, who seems to be wanting to bring the Alexandriites some kind of training, saying we do this now, you know, and the other guy kind of whining. I made a joke about that in my breakdown, so that was fun. But yeah, I think he's going to take them. He's going to try to do some kind of training. Daryl disagrees at 1 minute 29 seconds. He says, you know, it seems to Daryl that they're probably not ready, and he's probably right, because as Rick is running back, right, with the same kind of clothes he's on when he's saying we do this now, it seems to me like they just were not, those people just were not ready, and maybe Rick has had to just hightail it out of there. Possibly their training mission or their training could go wrong, and maybe we could see that start the herd upcoming, you know, a big group of zombies coming towards or something, or it would be the wolves, one of the two, I'm not sure which. But I think we'll probably see that in the premiere. The part where Rick tackles Ron. So you've got Ron, he's running, and then Rick jumps out and tackles him. So from that, upon closer inspection, plus what I saw from you guys, is they're on like some kind of cliff. So he's tackling him because he's actually saving him, because Ron is about ready to inadvertently run right off the damn cliff. So Rick tackles him to stop him from going right off, and that's where you see the zombies go off at near the end of the trailer, which is you know, basically the same part, it seems like. So that should be in the first few, I would say, as well too. So Rick's dangerous. Ron says that. Then we have okay, so I know Rick, I can stop him. So the voiceover stuff with Morgan. This stuff, I've analyzed this a few times. At no point can you make the argument that he is actually speaking to Rick, or that these things actually are going to happen in the show, that there's going to be this Morgan versus Rick thing. I think it makes sense that there would be, naturally, because they are both on different sides of the fence when it comes to should they kill, you know, should they allow, you know, other people to survive if they're evil, like wolves and stuff like that. Morgan allows them to live. Rick shoots Peter dead. They're on different sides of the fence, even though they were on the other way back in season 3. So they've each switched. They've swapped, so to speak. And so it makes sense there would be some. But even when he says, I know Rick, I can stop him, it sounds like a voiceover. And people said this in the comments too. When you watch it, you see Morgan and he's there, and you don't see his mouth actually say, I know Rick, I can stop him. It seems like you do, but it's a trick, you see. When you watch it again, you see that they just really cleanly voiced it over and put that in there, but that may not even be in the series at all, him saying, I'm going to stop Rick, and then actually stopping Rick. And even the part later on when they appear to be having a conversation inside the gates of Alexandria, and Morgan telling someone, if you've chosen this life, you will die. And then it shows that, you know, you get the hell out of here, and you never come back, or don't come back. That type deal. So it looks like Morgan is talking to Rick based on how they've placed it, but the background of Rick looks different than what it should inside the Alexandria safe zone. So it seems to me Morgan's probably speaking to the wolves. Maybe Rick has gone out on the training mission, the wolves are attacking, and Morgan is there to respond to them because Rick's not there. So, you know, some thoughts there. Can't say anything concrete because it's too early yet. We don't have enough to make a solid, you know, any solid really predictions on that. But I would say, based on what I've seen and the analysis of it, it doesn't really look like Morgan is actually talking to Rick. So there may be some animosity between the two, but I don't think at any point we're going to see a Shane situation where Rick has to kill Morgan or anything like that. No, I don't see that. And I really hope Morgan doesn't die. We'll get into some death predictions at the end of this a little bit. You know, even though I did kind of a solo video for death predictions, I'll put the link in the description for that, so you guys can hear me go through each character and who I think is most likely to die and who's going to survive easily. So I don't think the I can stop him thing is actually going to occur. When Deanna's talking about you know, trusting somebody, again, it flips to Morgan, but he's actually in the room. We can trust him. To me, it seems like she's probably actually talking about Rick, but I guess we'll have to see. Okay, so yeah, so we've got a part where people said, okay, so you've got this character running, and he's got a hood on, or she or he's got a hood on, and she or he shoots two members of, it looks like the wolves because they're stealing stuff. They've got a whole bunch of stuff on them. At least to me, it looks like it's in Alexandria or close by. It looks like it's inside, and that they've got all kinds of stuff. So it's like they're looting the place. And then somebody runs out and blasts them. You know, I'll show some pictures of that. So yeah, so with that, people have said that they're predicting that that's Carol. it looks like that's probably correct. You know, the clothes that she's wearing are very, very similar in this picture as, you know, as she is in that if she's running, if she's shooting. But it's not it's hard to say. You know, it's like it's not an exact easy match, but it looks like that's probably the case. So that's something kind of cool too. We'll probably talk more about that in the Things You Missed video. But you know, not a loose prediction. You know, we know Carol is a badass and that she doesn't have a problem killing, and that if someone else attacks them, she's going to be ready to kill them if they get inside, and she's very crafty in that way. So that's cool. And willing to fight for the community. So yeah, so there's that in terms of specifics from the trailer to draw from. So overall storyline, I'm thinking wolves attack first, training stuff occurs first, all the other stuff we see, and then No Way Out starts to occur maybe at the end of the episode of the premiere or in a few episodes, depending on what kind of pacing they go at. So most likely wolves at the beginning. So yeah, now some other questions. You know, people have already started talking about, again, Carl losing the eye. I've done a whole solo video on that, and based on what I heard Scott Gimple talk about with Rick's beard, saying it shows the character's progression. I think that, yeah, you know, the same thing that he said about Rick losing the beard and having the beard should apply to Carl. You know, if they want Carl to be the same version, he does need to lose an eye. You know, so you know, we'll see when they want to include that in. Will it be part of the Wolves? Will it be part of No Way Out as well? Maybe it makes sense just to do it exactly the same way as they did back in season 2 when he gets accidentally shot by Otis, for example, and just have the story be pretty much the same. I guess we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I do think Carl at some point will lose an eye within the next season or so. In terms of character deaths, so the first one to talk about I think would be Morgan. I think that makes a lot of sense. You know, with him, I really want to see him survive for a long time. I really hope they do not kill off Morgan, and I'm predicting they won't early on. Now, the problem with him is that, and even Scott Gimple, again, he talked about this at SDCC on the panel, and that is that Lenny James has other stuff going on all the time. So even though Scott Gimple wanted to bring him in season 5, he actually couldn't because Lenny James was too busy. He had too many other obligations. So I hope that he at least can put in a couple seasons to The Walking Dead and just kind of concentrate on that 100%. Because I know he's working on other shows, but to be honest, Walking Dead should be priority. So, you know, I mean, it's like one of the biggest shows on television ever. In terms of drama series, it's like one of the biggest of all time. So, if not the biggest, depending on how you want to define that. In ratings or whatever. So yeah, so for him, I'm really hoping he survives, and I think he will. The only thing that concerns me a bit is because he may have other prior obligations. We have a lot of different characters. There is one girl who's being eaten by zombies here. Some people said, is it Carol, is it Maggie, or sorry, is it not Carol, Tara, or is it Maggie? And I would say definitely not, because if you look at this, I mean, to me, it definitely doesn't look like Tara to me. The hair color and everything's wrong. Maggie, would they put the death of Maggie in a trailer? No way. But we do have this picture here of Heath and his group, and it looks like to me, yeah, that looks like the girl right there who's being eaten later. So I'm going to call this fodder group, fodder unit 1, because they're, you know, that's what there probably will be. Heath at the back left, he'll probably be fine, but the rest will probably be killed off. Aside from that, of course, lots of death of random Alexandrians, probably some new ones added in that we never even knew were there or they're killed off. And we've got others like Spencer. Yeah, he could probably go. Nicholas, I wish he would, but I'm starting to think now he might not. Gabriel, yeah, I mean, that's very, very likely because he's one where he actually had some trouble, and you know, he was arrested for drinking, driving, speeding, that kind of thing. So maybe he was killed off, and he was you know, a little depressed afterwards. I don't know. We'll see. And then, you know, like all the new fodder, Eric, characters like that, yeah. In terms of the actual core group, I don't know. I don't think any of our main core cast characters are going to be killed off in the first 2 episodes in No Way Out or whatever. Maybe shot, things like that. But totally killed, maybe only 1 or 2, and that's totally random to say. But I don't think we'll have any major deaths right off the bat. So I'm really hoping they keep Morgan on for a long time. So those are kind of my loose predictions for you guys, since we've literally just seen the trailer, and we're basing it on that. We're going based on that and what we know so far, which is not that much because it's still, we're kind of at the halfway point, you know, between, you know, it's already getting late into July now, which is fun, which is nice, because Fear the Walking Dead will be airing next month, and then that'll take us into the premiere for The Walking Dead Season 6. I absolutely can't wait. Let me know what you guys think. Write your predictions below. Lots of stuff in the trailer. Lots of little clips and stuff. Let me hear what you guys think. Draw some conclusions or maybe some guesses. Write them in the comments below. I'd love to see them. Maybe we could do a predictions Q&A later with everybody else's predictions. Those are mine for the most part. Should be an awesome premiere, and I'm predicting it should be one of of the best seasons ever. Probably second best, or maybe the best. We'll see how it goes. If you like the video, guys, you know what to do. Please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it. Please favorite. And if you're new and you want to see more from me, you can go ahead and subscribe at the bottom left. Just click the button. You'll get all my Walking Dead videos in your subscriber feed. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you again probably tomorrow. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace.